Welcome to this Football Manager 2018 World Cup experiment, where today we're going to look at a World Cup consisting of the 32 best ranked FIFA nations that have never qualified for the World Cup. A few people have suggested this in the comment sections of my recent World Cup experiments. Thank you for everyone that has suggested ideas. I think this is a pretty good idea actually. If you have any more ideas, remember to put them in the comment section below. And whilst you're at it, please hit that like button as well. That'd be much appreciated. There's been loads of new support for the channel, lots of new subscribers, lots of views over the past few days. And I really do appreciate all the support you're giving the channel. And I'm pleased that you guys are enjoying the videos. So these 32 teams are the nations that will be competing in today's experiment. I went onto the FIFA World Rankings website. The most recent rankings were decided on the 7th of June, so very recently. And I've pulled out the top 32 that have never qualified for the World Cup. I did cross-reference this as I went along just to make sure it was bang on. The only team that there's a slight controversy about, I suppose, is Qatar, because technically they have qualified for the 2022 World Cup because they're hosting it. Whether that goes ahead or not, we'll find out, I suppose. But I've put them in anyway because they've never played in a World Cup previously. As you can see, Venezuela are the best ranked nation at the moment, 33rd in the world rankings, which is higher than quite a few of the nations taking part in the real 2018 World Cup. There's a mixture of teams from around various confederations. We've got, obviously, Venezuela, the only South American team in here. We've got a few European teams, lots of African teams, quite a few Middle Eastern teams, and Asian teams. We've got India in there. Vietnam are the worst ranked team that have snuck into the 32 teams in this experiment. What I'm going to do first of all is we're going to do a random draw. I'm going to use the random letter sequence generator thing to generate the 8 groups. I've seeded them, so we've got seeds 1, 2, 3 and 4 clustered into 8 teams. There's not going to be any rules. I'm not going to say we can't have more than 2 African nations in a group. We're just going to do the draw according to these seedings. So let's get on with this. The first team to be drawn will be Venezuela, who are going to go into Group D. And then next up is Montenegro going into Group B. Group F will have Burkina Faso in it. First African nation drawn. And then Group C will have Albania, the European nation. Group G, Finland, who have attempted to qualify for lots and lots of World Cups but failed to do so. Some nations have obviously have more of a history and have tried to qualify for a lot of World Cups but have never managed to make it, whereas others are more recent, newer nations, I suppose. Group A will be Mali, and then Group, I have to click the button a few times sometimes to get a fresh letter that we haven't seen. Group H, Cape Verde. And lastly, Group E will, of course, have the first seed, which will be Guinea. Moving on to the second season, to Macedonia are going to be drawn into Group D, along with Venezuela. So the best first seed and the best second seed have gone into Group D. Group E will have Syria, who were pretty unfortunate not to make it to the World Cup. Of course, that epic two-legged tie against Australia. Group H will have Zambia in it. And then Group C is going to be Belarus, Eastern European nation. Group E we've already had, so Group B will be next, and Lebanon, the Middle Eastern nation, are going to go into there. And Group F will have Curacao, who featured heavily in my most recent experiment using the lowest population World Cup. Group A will be Uganda, and the last second seed is Congo, who of course will go into Group G because that's the last one left. So moving on to Oman, the third seed, who will go into Group A. Group F will have Gabon. Group C, Luxembourg. I'm surprised how high they are in the rankings actually. Group D is going to have Cyprus in it, the European island nation. Next up is Benin, who are going to be put into Group H. Oh, lots of African nations in there. Group C, we've already had. So Group E is going to be the Faroe Islands. Group B, Kyrgyzstan, I think that's how it's pronounced. Might have murdered that. Group G, Estonia. In fact, that was the last team to be drawn out from the third seed. So moving on to Uzbekistan, which will be in Group A. Group G will have Georgia in it. 3 European or 3 UEFA nations in that group. And then Group A we've already had. Group H, India will go into Group H along with Cape Verde, Zambia and Benin. And then Group B will have Qatar, who are hosting the 2022 tournament, of course. And then Group D, Palestine, who are a FIFA nation. Group E, Armenia. And Group C have Libya, meaning Vietnam will go into Group F. So these are the final stand-ins. So here are the final groups then for today's Football Manager 2018 experiment. I'll just scroll down for you. So let's get on with the first simulation of the day. So the favourites for the World Cup have managed to win the first simulation. Venezuela, the highest ranked nation according to the latest FIFA rankings, have won the final 2-0 against Cyprus. I hope they don't win it all 5 times. I have a sneaky suspicion that there will be quite a bit of variety here. They might win a couple, but I think we'll see some interesting winners. Cyprus had a man sent off, so that didn't help matters. As you can see, Venezuela dominated the game with 29 shots. So the man of the match and one of the goal scorers was Darwin Machis, who plays for Granada. Looks like a good player, good little winger. He's not incredible. I mean, his crossing's pretty poor for a winger, let's be honest. I suppose the star man, really, that everyone will know about is Rondon, the striker. But let's have a look then to see how this World Cup progressed. We'll go to the group stages to start with. See, Mali topped their group very comfortably, winning all 3 games, only scoring 4 goals. But of course it was enough to win all 3 games, as you can see there. Montenegro topped their group, with Qatar coming in second. Belarus with 7 points ahead of Luxembourg in second place from Group C. Cyprus actually finished above Venezuela. That is really interesting. So Cyprus and Venezuela, of course, they came from the same group and they went on to reach the final, but Venezuela won it. Maybe that red card really had an impact on Cyprus, and perhaps they would have won it if it wasn't for that, because of course they managed to beat Venezuela 1-0 in the group stage. Armenia and Guinea went through from Group E. Guinea just finishing ahead of Faroe Islands. Looks like quite a close group, that one. Burkina Faso with 7 points, as did Gabon. Curacao, who we saw doing very well in a recent experiment, failed to qualify from that group. Georgia topped their group. Oh, by the way, Vietnam minus 15 goal difference. That's the lowest we've seen so far. Georgia, 9 points. Congo went through ahead of Finland, and Estonia bottom of the group. And lastly, Benin and Cape Verde managed to get through from Group H, with India picking up a couple draws. Not bad. 0-0 draws against Zambia and top of the table Benin. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough to get them through to the second round, where we saw 2 games go to penalties, 2 games go to extra time. And then the quarter-final stages, Cyprus managed to get a 1-0 win. Venezuela beat Montenegro 3-1. Benin beat Armenia 1-0. Really good win for Burkina Faso, beating Cape Verde 4-1. Hat-trick from Isiaka Udrago. Yeah, you know what I'm like with pronunciations, guys. Let's not go there. Semi-final. Cyprus beat Burkina Faso 2-1 to get through to the final. I know this chap, Dimitris Christofi. I've heard of him, managing to get the crucial goal to put them through. They came from 1 goal down as well in that. And Venezuela just about beat Benin 1-0. Lots of yellow cards in that game and a red card. So Venezuela getting a bit lucky with the red cards in this tournament. So perhaps that is the reason why they went on to win it. Really good win for Burkina Faso to win the third place playoff. 2 goals each for Bande and Anthony Koura. And then, of course, we've seen the final. So let's have a look to see who won the awards. The Cypriot, Andreas Avram, managed to win the Best Player of the Tournament award. A left winger, with Darwin Machis, the Venezuelan, coming in second place. Golden Boot went to Burkina Faso left winger, Produce Nakulma. He got 6 goals and 2 assists in this tournament. Bande had a very good tournament, 5 goals and 6 assists from a 19-year-old. He's a quality player by the looks of it, playing for Ajax. So yeah, he's obviously a good player, good young player. Ajax always have good young players. Best goalkeeper award went to the 36-year-old Cypriot, Antonis Georgalidis. Something like that. Best young player was Bande, of course. Dream team. Lots of Burkina Faso players in there, interestingly. Only 3 Venezuelans and 3 Cypriots. And the goal of the tournament scored by Merlin. Oh, Merlin, what a name. Merlin Tandijgora. I'm not even going to even attempt to say these names, I think, from now on. Against Vietnam, who played an overpower 4-3-3. I mean, that's a good formation to play on FM18. But for them, they conceded 15 goals, didn't they? Or minus 15 goal difference. Anyway, great strike to win the goal of the tournament award. So we have a different winner in the second simulation. And two different finalists, in fact. Finland done really well to get through to the final, considering they didn't even qualify from their group in the first simulation. They've lost on penalties, really unlucky. They came back from 1 goal down, but they had a player sent off just at the end of the match. They held on 4 penalties, but they lost. This chap managed to pick up the Man of the Match award. Looks like a very pacey right winger. There's some good players in these lesser known nations, I must say. Sometimes you do have to load bigger databases to see them, but there are some gems in there that you might be able to sign for the team that you're managing on FM18. Third place playoff, Mali managed to beat Libya 2-1. So yeah, lots of differences here in this simulation, which is great to see. Lots of variety, that's what I want. We've not always had variety from these experiments, but this has certainly seen variety so far. I think that we've had a little bit of a difference in teams qualifying as well. Qatar finished third this time. Kyrgyzstan went through with Montenegro. Libya and Luxembourg from Group C. Belarus were top of the group last time around and they finished bottom. Palestine went through instead of Cyprus, who of course went on to reach the final in the first simulation. Venezuela only picked up 5 points. They drew against Cyprus and Macedonia but beat Palestine 4-0, who went through thanks to a win against Macedonia and a 3-3 draw against Cyprus. What a game that is. They actually had the worst goal difference in the group, but went through. Armenia and Syria went through from Group E. Well done to Syria for that. A war-torn nation, and they've managed to get through to the knockout stages of the World Cup. Gabon and Burkina Faso went through from Group F. So Curacao miss out once again, with Vietnam getting a -12 goal difference. They did score 3 goals, but it wasn't enough. They actually lost 5-3 against the group winners. Finland topped their group ahead of Georgia, and of course they went on to reach the final. Cape Verde won all 3 of their games to get through, with Benin missing out this time around. India finished bottom of the group with a -9 goal difference, conceding 7 goals against Benin. Second round then, 5-1 win for Mali. That is impressive. I wouldn't be surprised if Mali managed to go on to the latter stage. Did we see? In fact, we might have seen it in this tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if they won it, actually. Montenegro as well possibly could go on and win it. Jovetic is a great striker. Palestine lost out. Wow. Venezuela knocked out by Luxembourg on penalties. Venezuela, the unlucky team this time around with the red card. But Luxembourg actually had the chance to win it in regulation time. They missed a 9... Oh, no, sorry, that's an own goal. They didn't have a chance to win it. They saved the game in regulation time thanks to an own goal in the 93rd minute. And of course, it went on to penalties and they scraped through. Gabon thrashed Syria 5-1. Of course, Aubameyang's going to be a real star of these simulations, I think. He will score goals, surely. And Finland won 4-2 against Zambia. Some really good second round matches, I must say. Cape Verde only just 92nd minute winner to get through against Georgia, and that's another red card. There's so many red cards in these tournaments. Quarterfinals, Mali scraped through. Libya went through against Montenegro. Really good result for Libya. Hat-trick from El Zoue, 35-year-old striker. We saw Cape Verde beat Burkina Faso 3-1 to get through to the semi-finals, and Finland took extra time to get past Gabon. 115th minute. In fact, all 4 goals were in extra time, and they had rings sent off again. It's because of that 17 on aggression, isn't it? He's a sort of a hard man in midfield, but he's going to pick up cards as a result. Semi-finals then, it took penalties for Finland to beat Mali. Another red card in this tournament. And Cape Verde beat Libya in an all-African clash 2-1. Cape Verde are kind of an African team. They are technically part of the African continent, but they're islands, of course. I think they're part of the African Union or something like that. But yeah, anyway, that's geography for you. Mali beat Libya 2-1 in the third place playoff. Marega's a really good striker. He plays for Porto, doesn't he? He's a good striker. So there's some really good players in this sort of alternative World Cup, I guess. All the teams that have never qualified for a World Cup, but there are some exceptional players in the mix, which is making these tournaments very interesting. Cape Verde player, the left winger Gary Rodriguez, picked up the Player of the Tournament award. Of course, they've got a strong link to Portugal, so I think there might be a bit of a crossover there. Some players actually born in Portugal might have Cape Verde heritage and end up playing for them. Zé Luís managed to pick up the Golden Boot Award. Striker with only 10 on finishing, but he managed to score 7 goals in this tournament. Pukki for Finland picked up second place. with 6 goals, and Aubameyang featured as well. As you can see, there are lots of assists from him as well. Best goalkeeper award went to the Finnish goalkeeper Lukas Hradecky. He's a really good goalkeeper. He plays for Bayern Munich. I forgot about that. And the best young player went to the Burkina Faso winger again, Hassan Bande. Dream team, bit of a mixture this time around. And goal of the tournament, scored by a Kyrgyzstani player. Oh, it's a good player. Picks up the ball in his own half. We might not be able to see the whole thing. Often cuts off the first half of the highlight. But scoring the goal of the tournament against the 2022 hosts, Qatar. So yes, running from just inside his half, Sharapov, look at that. What a run. Excellent run and a lovely finish at the end of it to win goal of the tournament. Let's move on to the third simulation then. So we've seen Venezuela win it for the second time. 2-3 for Venezuela. The big game won 2-1 in the final. Unlucky for Aubameyang, who picked up the Golden Boot award. But yeah, he scored. He opened the scoring. But unfortunately, Wilker Angel managed to get an equaliser in the 76th minute. And then Thomas Rincon with the winner. The central midfielder, 30-year-old central midfielder, winning the World Cup for his country, despite being second best in this game, as you can see here. Gabon, the African nation, really unlucky not to win this. Third place went to Cyprus, who beat Burkina Faso. So we've seen Burkina Faso do quite well. Gabon obviously do well. Cyprus have featured. Venezuela have now won 2 World Cups. So there's a few teams featuring heavily, but we have a little bit of variety. We've got 2 more simulations to go, remember. So Oman managed to get through from the group this time around with Mali. Montenegro and Qatar once again going through. That's the same as the first simulation. Albania topped the group though in Group C, ahead of Belarus. So Luxembourg and Libya missed out this time. Cyprus actually finished ahead of Venezuela again on goal difference. But it wasn't enough to obviously go on and win the tournament. So both times Venezuela have won it, they finished second in the group. Maybe that's an easier route for them, strangely enough. Guinea and Armenia went through from Group E. Armenia only just on goal difference. All 3 teams picked up negative goal difference. Faroe Islands have been unlucky not to get out of that group. Gabon and Burkina Faso went through from Group F again. I think Curacao just have a bit of a tricky time finishing above those 2 African nations. Georgia topped Group G ahead of Congo. So Finland, who got to the final in the last simulation, miss out. Estonia finished bottom every time, I think. And Benin and Cape Verde once again going through from Group H. But Cape Verde only just champions from last time. Goal difference does it for them in the end, finishing ahead of Zambia and India. In the second round then, 3 teams went through on penalties. Congo 3, Benin 3. That's a standout game going to penalty. Another red card, as you can see there. Gabon thrashed Armenia 4-0. That's a really good performance from them. Venezuela took penalties to get past Albania. 80th minute equaliser to send it to extra time, and then they scraped through in the end. Quarterfinals, Qatar did really well to get through to the quarterfinals, but they lost 1-0 against Cyprus after red cards for both teams. This is just these teams, what is wrong with their discipline? Venezuela beat Oman 2-0. Oman did really well to get through to the quarterfinals, let's be honest. Their country's having serious issues at the moment as well. Burkina Faso 2, Congo 1 after extra time, and Gabon 3, Cape Verde 1. Comfortable win for them against the winners of the second simulation. In the semi-finals then, Gabon beat Cyprus 2-1, Aubameyang with a goal. They had a man sent off, but it didn't matter in the end. And Venezuela beat Burkina Faso 1-0. Missed penalty in the 74th minute. It could have been a very different story if they'd managed to score that, of course. So let's have a look at the awards. Aubameyang did pick up the Best Player of the Tournament award and the Golden Boot. Obviously, he is an exceptional striker. Look at that pace and acceleration. You don't see 2020 very much. You used to in the older games. Remember Theo Walcott did, and there was quite a few players that would have that, but they're a bit harsher now with the attributes. It's very, very rare to see that. That is incredible. It really is. Best goalkeeper went to the Cypriot goalkeeper once again. Best young player, Bande's won it every single time, so well done to him. Dream team, lots of different nations in there. Burkina Faso, Gabon, Venezuela and Cyprus. 4 different nations in there this time around. And the goal of the tournament, won by a Lebanon player, once again scored against Qatar. So let's have a look at this. Lebanon goal. Oh, is it going to be running from his own box again? From his own half again, sorry? Anika? No, not quite. It was passed. And then nice finish. I mean, it looks really slow from this point of view. Goal of the tournament's always, it's kind of like a slow motion thing. But it was a tidy finish from there into the bottom left-hand corner. So the fourth simulation has seen a third different winner, with Macedonia coming from nowhere to win the World Cup. They're in the same group as Cyprus and Venezuela, so they've done exceptionally well to go on and win it. So we've had 2 different winners from that group, 3 different finalists from that group. There's obviously a lot of quality in there. And Gabon lose another final, but it was a convincing win for Macedonia. This chap scored 2 goals and picked up man of the match. Plays for Palermo. Looks like a good striker. Determination 20. Third place went to Mali. Burkina Faso and Mali featuring in that third place playoff once again. It's absolute thrashing from Mali. Aubameyang, 9 goals once again. Top goal scorer at the tournament. Really unlucky not to win the World Cup once again. They've lost 2 finals now. So I think similar. I mean, Uganda getting through. Is that the first time? No, I think we've seen them go through before. Mali seemed to top the group every single time. Albania and Luxembourg went through from Group C. But this is the interesting one. Cyprus miss out this time. We've seen all 4 teams get out of this group. So there's some quality in there, but it's not like Venezuela are clearly miles better than the other nations. I think they're the team that have qualified every time, but the other 3 are fighting it out. And we've seen Cyprus top it twice, remember. But Macedonia have done really well after beating Palestine 1-0 and Cyprus 3-0 to get through from that group. Faroe Islands, oh brilliant, I love that. Faroe Islands have topped the group to go through unbeaten. They managed to get draws against Armenia and Guinea, and they beat Syria to go through to the second round. I'm pleased for them. Gabon and Burkina Faso come from the same group, always meet in the third place playoff it seems. And not the third place playoff, sorry, they get through to the semi-finals quite regularly. Curacao really unlucky. They picked up 4 points, but their goal difference let them down. They lost 6-1 against Gabon. That's the problem there. Vietnam, not such a bad goal difference this time around. They actually picked up a draw against Curacao, which was the crucial game that stopped Curacao from going through. Finland topped their group, Group G. They managed to get through once again with Congo. And Zambia, wow, Cape Verde missing out this time around. Benin not finishing top. Zambia topped the group with 5 points. So in the second round, only 1 game went to penalties and 1 game went to extra time. But this is probably the standout game. Zambia 4, Congo 2. Zambia with a hat-trick from Evans Kengwa go through to the quarterfinals. Macedonia, the eventual winners, only just about beat Albania on penalties to go through, and we saw another red card in that. So it went through to the quarterfinals, where we saw Mali beat Venezuela 3-1. So Venezuela knocked out at the quarterfinal stage, and Macedonia beat Montenegro 1-0 after extra time. And they got a player sent off. They're scraping through at this stage, aren't they? The final was, of course, a thrashing, but they have been pretty lucky in the second round in the quarterfinals so far. This is a really good game. Zambia, must say, they've done really well to get through to the quarterfinals, and they've done themselves proud of a goal-heavy game against Burkina Faso. And Gabon managed to beat Finland after extra time. Aubameyang was just too strong for Finland in the end. Semi-finals. Gabon 2, Mali 1. Aubameyang with the crucial goal once again, but it took a 92nd minute equaliser from Gabon to send it through to extra time. And then Macedonia beat Burkina Faso 3-1 after extra time once again. They haven't managed to win a single knockout game within 90 minutes. But the final, of course, was a different story. That's when they really turned it on for whatever reason and managed to win 4-1 in regulation time. So Aubameyang did pick up the Best Player of the Tournament award thanks to his 9 goals and 1 assist and very good average rating. And he got the Top Goal Scorer award. Diaby for Mali managed to get the second Top Goal Scorer award with 7 goals. And Kangwa, really great stuff from him and Zambia in this particular simulations. Best goalkeeper went to the Macedonian Martin Bogatinov. Best young player? It wasn't Bande. It was the Venezuelan 21-year-old Adalberto Penaranda, who plays for Watford on this, worth a lot of money. So he's one of the best players in this particular experiment. Dream team, we did see 4 Macedonians, 3 Gabon players, a couple Malians, and a Faroe Islands player in there. That is brilliant. In fact, how far? I didn't actually see how far they got. They were knocked out in the second round, but they actually had a player get into the Dream Team award, despite only playing 4 games. That is really weird, because he only got a 6.65. How has that happened? That can't be right. That just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Goal of the tournament scored by Adama Traore. You should know him. Good player. And he scored against Oman. Let's have a look at this then. And then we're going to move on to the last simulation of today's experiment. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please hit that like button. I am going to be doing some part 2s to these experiments in the next week or so. Some of which from my last experiments in the latest week. I want to do some more simulations because some people really enjoyed them. Lots of people have really enjoyed them. Thank you for the support. Burkina Faso are world champions and Gabon have lost another final, a third final in a row, and Aubameyang with 14 goals in one World Cup, which would be a record if that was managed in real life. But the rest of his team has let him down because they're bottlers, bottle jobs in the final for a third time. Bertrand Traore and Bouba Sarr opened the scoring in the first half. Aubameyang gave them hope in the 80th minute, but look at the rest of the team. Terrible average ratings. They did overall play quite well. It was quite an equal game. Looks like plenty of shots. Equal possession really for both teams. But Traore, man of the match, got a goal and won his country the World Cup. They've got some good players, Burkina Faso. In fact, a lot of these African nations have some very good players. Let's go through then and have a look at the group stage. We haven't seen Mkhitaryan feature, have we, for Armenia, interestingly, but they did finish top of the group, so maybe he scored a few goals. Wow, Uzbekistan topped the group. Mali, second place. Wow, what an achievement for Uzbekistan. That's great to see. So we've pretty much seen nearly all the countries qualify, I think. I think this has been the best one yet in terms of variety. I've really enjoyed this. I think I should do a part 2 to this. If you want to see a part 2, hit that like button, please. Montenegro topped their group ahead of Qatar. Albania and Belarus went through from Group C. And Macedonia once again topping the group ahead of Cyprus. And Venezuela miss out. It's the first time. It was on goal difference, to be fair. Palestine ended up losing every single game this time around. But Venezuela, for the first time, have missed out. And they've been the most successful team, remember. In fact, Gabon, I think they've reached the most finals with 3, haven't they? Armenia, really good performance from them. They beat Faroe Islands, completely collapsed against Armenia. I want to see if Mkhitaryan... Is he even playing? Where is he? Has he retired from international duty or something? I don't understand why he's not playing. Here he is. Has he retired from international duty? Because why would he not be selected for Armenia? It just doesn't make any sense. Maybe I've... Oh, yeah. Oh, no, he's only just retired. In fact, so he would have played at the World Cup, but he's just retired, so meaning it's at the end of the World Cup he retired from international duty. So he surely featured. I need to investigate here. Did he play? He did, so it's fine. Don't worry, guys. He was playing. In fact, he scored there. I've just been like, he scored in this game as well. He scored a goal. He scored 2 goals at the World Cup in the group stages anyway. But he's retired at the end of the tournament on the game. Okay, that makes sense then. We've managed to get to the bottom of that one. But anyway, headline, Armenia go through comfortably with 9 points, with Guinea going through as well. Gabon and Burkina Faso, the eventual winners, the eventual finalists from the same group, go through. Curacao, they've just been put in a very tough group, haven't they? If I do a part 2, I will redo the draw, by the way, so we'll have a bit of a change to the groups. Zambia and Cape Verde went through from Group H, so Benin miss out once again. Second round, Albania, Burkina Faso and Gabon all go through on penalties. So the eventual winners, pretty much every single time, kind of struggle through the second round quite often on penalties or extra time. It's really quite interesting. And Armenia, who I was just talking about, were knocked out at this stage. Mkhitaryan wasn't able to inspire his team to victory. Really good extra time performance here. Gabon 4, Guinea 2. Great game. Aubameyang with 3 goals. In fact, I just want to have a look to see their journey, just to see the Aubameyang performance. So he scored 4 goals in that first game against Vietnam. He scored in the second and 2 in the third. He scored 3 in the second round. In fact, he scored in every game. That is very impressive. That is incredible. He's so unlucky not to win it. 14 goals and he scored in every single game. That is very impressive. Let's go through to the quarterfinals then and have a look to see what happens. So Uzbekistan really did exceptionally well to get through to the quarterfinals. They won the second round 1-0. They beat Belarus 1-0 to get through to the semi-finals of the World Cup. Wow. Albania one on penalties against Mali. What a game that is. They get through to the semi-finals as well. Burkina Faso beat Finland 1-0. And comfortable win for Gabon. They love to score goals. They're not great at the back, but it doesn't matter because they bang in the goals. They beat Cape Verde to go through to the semi-finals, where Uzbekistan unlucky to face Gabon and lose 2-0. And Albania the same, 2-0 defeat against Burkina Faso. Third place playoff was won by Albania, who beat Uzbekistan 1-0. Both teams doing really well to get through to this stage though. And then of course we know what happened in the final. So let's have a look at the awards. Aubameyang wins player of the tournament once again. 14 goals, 1 assist. Golden boot. Of course he won it. The next best player only scored 5 goals. Best goalkeeper was won by the Uzbekistani goalkeeper Alexander Lobanov. Well done to him. Best young player was the Gabon player, 19-year-old Mario Mandrout, the right winger. Dream team. Burkina Faso players featuring heavily, Gabon players, in fact 5 each, and then an Albanian in there, the central midfielder. And lastly, let's have a look at the goal of the tournament before we go on to the spreadsheet to just recap today's experiment. The Macedonian Stefan Spirovski scored against Cyprus to win the goal of the tournament. Go down in history. Let's have a look at this one then. This has been fun. I've really enjoyed this experiment. Great strike. Off the crossbar. It always adds a pleasing aesthetics to it, doesn't it? So at the end of the 5 simulations, this is what it looks like. Aubameyang dominated the personal awards, winning 3 golden boots and 3 best player awards. And Gabon did actually reach 3 finals. They reached the last 3 finals but lost all 3 of them. You could say that's consistency, but I think I'd rather be Burkina Faso, because they managed to win it once, finished 4th twice and 3rd once. They were pretty consistent in getting through to semi-finals. Venezuela actually only reached the semi-finals twice, but both times they went on to win it. So they're quite prolific when they get to that point. It was just sometimes a struggle for them to get that far. But I suppose overall they were the most successful team because they managed to win 2 World Cups, and that, at the end of the day, that's what counts. Macedonia and Cape Verde also did very well to pick up a World Cup each, with Finland reaching the final as well as Cyprus. So that's how today's experiment ends. Like I said, I'm going to be doing some part 2s to all the experiments that I've done, so not all of them, but some of the experiments that I've done so far. So I hope you're looking forward to those. There's also some new experiment ideas that I'll be releasing during the World Cup as well. But until next time, enjoy FM18, enjoy the World Cup, and enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you very soon.